Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to do kind of a year-end recap of my journey on Zepbound. Just to kind of let you know where I started off. About a year ago, I was 365 pounds, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. And I was really depressed about my weight and kind of what was going on in my life at the time. Not anything personal or anything, but I was just really discouraged about my weight and what it was kind of doing to me as far as being able to participate with my family and just the effects that my weight was having on my life. At the time, I was facing real health issues with my weight. At the time, it was mainly high blood pressure, and I was getting nervous that as time went on, things would start to deteriorate more and more on my health if I didn't lose any weight at all. I have my notes down here, so if I look down, please forgive me. I wasn't able to fully participate with my family. Like, we would go on trips and stuff, and I would go on the trips and participate, but I wasn't really participating because I would have to sit some things out because of my weight. Like, I couldn't get on this or I couldn't go on that. A prime example of that is a few years ago, we went to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and my oldest daughter, she really wanted to go ziplining, but I wasn't able to go. I was too heavy to get on the zip line. So things like that would, limit my participation in family events, and that was always a drag. And I knew I had to do something about my weight situation. 365, there really wasn't any end in sight as far as, going up. Like I've said in videos in the past, it's lucky I didn't weigh 400 pounds based on what I was doing from day to day, what I was eating, no exercise at all. And I knew that I had to do something. But the options were pretty limited. I felt like I've done the low carb before and lost a significant amount of weight doing that. I didn't want to do that because I always seemed to gain the weight back super fast when I, stopped doing the low carb. So I really didn't want to go down that route. And because I had a significant amount of weight to lose, I really felt like, the only thing at the time was doing the lap band or gastric bypass surgery. But that just seemed like always a step too far for me. That seemed like really extreme procedure to have done. I know people that have had that done before and have had great success with it, but I just wasn't comfortable doing that. And about that time, I started to do a little bit of research into these different weight loss shots, Wegovy, and had been out for a while, Ozempic, those type of things. I decided I wanted to go ahead and give it a shot because I just didn't think that the surgery was right for me. Basically, I was too big of a chicken to do the surgery. But I knew I had to do something. And I thought, well, I can try this shot out and we'll see how it works out. And I kind of go from there. So about a year ago, I took my first injection of Zepbound, and since then, I've lost over 100 pounds. Today, I weighed in at 255 pounds. So that's about 110 pounds lost. It's been quite an amazing ride, and I thought it might be helpful to some of you if I share some of my experiences and some of, my tips and tricks, I guess, if you will. Maybe that might help you on your weight loss journey as well. The thing that helps me the most, and the reason I think that this time is going to be different than my previous weight losses in the past, is I completely treated this weight loss journey completely different than I have in the past. And you might think to yourself, what does that mean? This time I viewed it, and has changed my mind about weight loss in general, is I treat it as an addiction. I've likened it to the past as like being a drug addict. I'm addicted to the food. I'm addicted to the french fries, the sugar, all the bad stuff. I was completely addicted to it. And people say like, oh, you should just eat right and go exercise and blah, blah, blah. And I think to myself, oh, well, I'm an addict. I'm a food addict. If you told a drug addict to just stop doing drugs, but it was sold legally at every convenience store and every grocery store that you go into, And you go into a grocery store and there's all kinds of drugs, every kind you can possibly imagine, legal to buy, cheap to buy. There's no possible way that a drug addict could break his or her addiction with those type of things going on. And that's what's changed so much this time for me is I view my obesity as an addiction. And that completely has changed my thought process around weight loss and what I'm doing here. And I think that has helped me so much, because before I was just like, I thought it was more of a physical thing. Like I didn't get enough exercise, or I ate too much, or all this and that. But I think it's addiction. And once I processed that in my mind and started treating my obesity as an addiction, things became different. If you go about treating it as an addiction, you go about things a little bit differently as well. So that's the number one thing that's helped me. Just my total mindset surrounding my obesity. But there are some other things that I will go into here. The number two thing that's helped me out is starting a food log. And I think if you're starting on a weight loss journey, you should start a food log at least until you figure out what foods that you could eat and not gain weight. And at the very beginning, I would just be writing everything down that I ate. If I lost weight that week, I would continue to eat those foods. If I gained weight that week, I could go back and see exactly where I may have messed up, or what I thought was leading to weight gain that week. Or maybe I didn't lose as much as I thought I should. What was I eating? Maybe this is the problem. I'll cut this out for a week and see how it goes. I would highly suggest keeping a food log for the first while. I think it helps you figure out what you can eat and maybe figuring out where you're making your mistakes at. Number 3 is a 30-minute walk every morning. Every morning I get up pretty much without fail and walk 30 minutes on the treadmill. I'll admit, when I first started, it was tough. I mean, I could barely get through a 30-minute walk. But now, a year later, I got the incline on 6, and I got the speed on 3.5. That's pretty good for me, especially from where I came from. That is nuts. There's no way I could even get through that a year ago at all. But am I telling you that if you go walk 30 minutes a day that you're going to lose 100 pounds? No, you need more exercise than that. But to me, the most important thing about the walking every morning for 30 minutes, it was the commitment that I was making to my overall journey. And I think that was the most important thing about the 30-minute walks. And also, I knew that if I walked that 30 minutes every morning, that no matter what happened the rest of the day, if I happened to cheat on my diet, if I didn't get my rest of my workout in or whatever, at least I got that done first thing in the morning. Number 5 is find a way to hold yourself accountable. That might be different for everybody. For me, it's been this vlog or these videos that I've posted, but it's super critical to hold yourself accountable to what you're doing. Number 6 is set goals. And I think it's important to set long-term goals. So mine right now is to get down to 240 pounds. I think if I got down to 240 pounds, I'd be pretty comfortable with my weight. So that's a long-term goal. More importantly than a long-term goal is a short-term goals. Like I want to lose this amount of weight over the next week or 2. When I did my last video, I was at 258, and I wanted to get down to 250 pounds before we went to Disney. Right now I'm at 255. I don't think I want to make it since I leave last week, but I've been working towards that goal, and that goal's always been in my mind for the last 3 weeks. And that short-term goal pushes me to reach the next milestone. So it's so important to set short-term goals for yourself. Don't make them unrealistic. Everybody loses weight at a different pace, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but try to make realistic short-term goals for yourself. Number 7 is celebrate your wins. This is so important because weight loss journey, losing weight, the whole thing is hard. I mean, it is tough, not only physically, but mentally. So when you hit a certain goal, you should celebrate that however you think you need to celebrate it. Sometimes I eat a bowl of ice cream, sometimes I eat a cookie, sometimes I just go out and have fun. I don't know, everybody celebrates different. But please, if you hit some kind of goal, some kind of milestone, you hit your goal for the week, you lose another 10 pounds, make sure you celebrate that, because it's so easy not to. And then you just kind of get caught up in this trap of, the next goal or the next thing, and you're not celebrating your wins. You have to celebrate your wins along the way. So important. Number 8 is set time aside for mental breaks and reflection. When you're going through a weight loss journey, it's easy to get caught up in the weight loss. Like, I have to lose weight, and it really consumes your whole body and mind. Like, all you're doing is thinking about what you're eating, all you're doing is thinking about what you're exercising, so on and so forth, and you just get caught up like, why am I not losing weight? Or it just creates a whole thing. So it's easy to get caught up in that. But I think it is so important to set a time aside to kind of relax all that. Maybe it's just for a day or two. Just kind of like block all that stuff out, relax yourself, and kind of reflect on the journey that you've been on up until this point. Like, when I lost about 80 pounds, I was getting really stressed out because my weight loss started slowing down a little bit. And about that time, I had to take time for myself to reflect on where I've been. Like, 80 pounds, that's a lot of weight, So I shouldn't be discouraged about losing a little bit less once I hit that mark. I had to take time, reflect on where I've been and how and the path that's gotten me to this point. So important to do that. And also to set mental breaks. I mean, I had to do this like every couple of weeks. Like, yeah, man, I had to just like put all the weight loss journey aside. Now, when I say that, I'm not just, going out and eating hamburgers and fried chicken and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, take a mental break away from the scales, away from the whole grind. Just for a little bit. It'll help you out so much in the long run, trust me. And then number 9 is realize the journey is yours. Like, when I first started, I was kind of going online, watching videos, and going on Reddit, and you see all these huge success stories. And at a time, I was losing a good amount of weight for me, but I always noticed that some people were losing way more than me. And that would stress me out. Like, why am I not losing more weight? I should be losing more. Like, I work out all the time, and I watch every little thing I eat. Why can't I lose more? But then I realized that everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. You should just try to focus on you, and don't worry about, what everybody else is doing, or maybe the successes they're having. You should just worry about your own journey and realize that your journey is going to take as long as your journey takes. It may take you longer to get from one point to the other than somebody else. And it's not your fault. It's just the way the journey is set up. And number 10, and this has helped me, and I'm not recommending this without you doing your own research, is fasting. I've been trying to do intermittent fasting the day or two after I take my injections. And I don't know that it's helped me lose weight, but I think it's helped me kind of clear my system out or whatever. So I would suggest doing that if you're having struggles, but make sure you do your own research, because I don't want to suggest anything that might be detrimental to somebody's health, and that'll get me into the medication itself. Now, I haven't talked a lot about the medication itself. I've been on Zepbound for a year, and currently I'm on the 10 milligram dosage. And I've refrained from talking about the medication because I don't want to portray it as something that it may not be. I would never try to suggest as something that may be detrimental to somebody's health. And that is what's worried me about talking about the medication in the past. I don't know what the long-term side effects are. And there's a lot of different things about the drug that may or may not be right for you. That's something that you need to figure out on your own. Do your own research, talk to your own doctor. Don't take the word of some dude on the internet about what you're injecting into your body. At the time, like I say, I went and talked to my doctor about it. He suggested it. I knew I had a major amount of weight to lose, so I felt that it was right for me. It's a major thing to be injecting yourself with a drug that I don't really know the long-term side effects for. But I do know the long-term side effects of being morbidly obese, and they are pretty bad. So to me, the drug outweighed that, but you should do your own research. And we can talk about the side effects of the drug. To be honest, I hadn't had many side effects at all. When I first started, I had a little bit of nausea. That was the main one. I had a little bit of a diarrhea. Not much though. Neither one of those were too bad. The one thing that you really have to be worried about is constipation. I'm going to be honest with you. That is the absolute worst one that you can get out of any of those. So if you're just starting out, you may want to look into what kind of over-the-counter medications you can take to remedy those side effects. The only thing about the drug that is concerning me at this point is I don't really know where the drug ends and I begin. If I was to quit cold turkey today, what that would look like and kind of what the end of this whole journey looks like being on this medication. I don't know what that looks like. So that's a little bit concerning to me. Okay, now what is the difference in me physically and mentally throughout this weight loss journey? Well, just physically, I went from a size 4 extra large to a 2 extra large shirt. And then I also went from a 46 pant to a 38 pant. The biggest thing for me and all that is I can go into any store and find something to wear. And I know that sounds crazy to most people. For the longest time, I couldn't find anything. Like I couldn't just go to Academy or a sporting goods store and find and get something off the rack and wear it. It just wasn't even possible. The only place I could find something to wear was at a feed store or on Amazon big and tall section. And now I can just go wherever I want in any store and find something to wear. And I know, like I say, I know that sounds crazy to say, but that's just been a huge thing for me. On top of that is my shoes fit looser and my hats fit looser, which is, I don't know why, but it's true. But the major thing is I can fully participate in my family activities. And that is the major thing that has changed over the past year. I'll just tell you a few examples of that. 3 years ago, I was going to my daughter's dance recital. It was stadium seating in an old theater, and the seats are like super narrow. And I was 300, probably at that time, 50 pounds or so. And I was super apprehensive of going, nervous about sitting in those seats and spilling out over into the next person's seat. It was just really uncomfortable situation. And to be honest with you, before I went to that, I was so nervous. I had contemplated not even going or just trying to go to the dress rehearsal where I could sit way up in the top of the auditorium, see her dance and not have to go to a packed auditorium. And that's sad. And that's where I was, Last year, I sat in those seats no problem. But 3 years ago, it wasn't a good situation. And it's sad that I would even think about missing her recital because I was too fat to fit in the seat. But that's where we were. Another example on top of that, for the past 3 years, we've gone to Disney and Universal. The first year we went to Disney, I was able to fit on most of the Disney rides because they're really accommodating. But we went to, this is with me and my whole family. We went to Universal and I wasn't able to fit on anything. So I had to sit everything out. And not only is it embarrassing, it's sad for me because I enjoy doing those experiences with my family. So I would just sit there and wait while they, would go ride the rides and everything, and then they would get off, and we'd be huddled up, and they'd be talking about how great it was, and I'd just be sitting there, looking sad and depressed because I didn't get to go, I didn't get to enjoy the experience with them. So it was sad. It's just kind of that was a bad situation, and I hated it. Last year was much better. I got to ride a few more things, and the whole experience was pretty good. So when we go back here in a few weeks, I anticipate on being able to ride everything that I want to ride at Disney and at Universal within my comfort zone. I don't know about getting on this. Some of them roller coasters are a little bit crazy, but Just like this fall when we got to go to Silver Dollar City, I was able to ride everything and had such good time with my family, and I just get to be more involved, and that's the most important thing with the weight loss. Before I was so self-conscious about everything we did, like, you know, can I fit on this, and you know, will I get hurt doing that? Just all of this because I was just so overweight, and now I'm able to participate fully with my family, and I finally feel healthy, and that's what this whole weight loss journey is about. So I hope this video may help you in your weight loss journey. It's kind of my year in review on my experiences with Zepbound and how I've lost over 100 pounds. It's been quite a journey, and I look forward to continuing it for the next few weeks, hopefully until I get to my goal weight. And at that point, we'll change it all to maintenance, which is going to be the hard part. Everybody knows that the easy part is losing the weight. The hard part is keeping it off. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you drop a like. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.